tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Good afternoon, everyone. We are learning Kamavajra Citta, 24 Kamavajra Cittas, 24 sincere consciousness, right? Sincere, beautiful consciousness, 24. So we just finished wholesome consciousness, sincere wholesome consciousness, and also we finished the sincere resident consciousness, right? So actually the wholesome consciousness is something that we do good things. So when we are doing good things, we do with one of the 8 sincere wholesome consciousness, right? So because of that we will have a good result. Because of that wholesome consciousness, we will have a resident consciousness. So altogether 8. So today we are going to learn another 8 type of consciousness. So sincere functional consciousness. Actually, everything is the same. It corresponds to wholesome sincere consciousness. So one consciousness accompanied by joy, associated with the knowledge and prompted, right? So the first 4 are associated with the joy. So when we are doing with the joy, so that will be 1 to 4, right? Then the first one associated with the knowledge, second one dissociated, and third one the first 2 associated with the knowledge, and the last 2, 3 and 4 dissociated from knowledge. So actually prompted, unprompted, one after another, right? So actually this is the same with the sincere wholesome consciousness. So the last 4 are accompanied by equanimity, upekha, right? Equanimity or neutral feeling. So everything is the same, but a bit different. Sincere functional consciousness. So according to Abhidhamma, so whenever Arahants and the Buddhas and also Pichika Buddhas perform good things such as dana, sila, bhavana, so they will do with the one of the 8 type of sincere functional consciousness. So that we have mentioned earlier. So it is with the roots, sahetuka. So we have 80 type of ahetuka, right? Rootless consciousness. So the moment those 80 type of rootless consciousness in your mind, there's no lobha, dosa, moha, and also no alobha, adosa, amoha. Therefore, it is called rootless. Here, when Arahants and the Buddha and Pachika Buddhas, so when they are doing good things, so they will do with the alobha, adosa, amoha, non-greed, non-hatred, non-delusion, right? So therefore, it is together with roots. So therefore, it is called sahetuka. So the reason we use sahetuka is that, so in among the 80 rootless consciousness, we have 3 types of functional consciousness, right? five-door adverting consciousness, mind-door adverting consciousness, and smile producing consciousness. So these are rootless functional consciousness. So to distinguish from these three types of rootless functional consciousness, so we have to use the word sahetuka with the root. So that means when Arahants, Pacceka Buddhas, and Buddhas, actually we can combine one word, Arahants, right? So when we talk about Arahant, that means we are referring to normal Arahants, the Buddha and Pacceka Buddha, right? So whenever Arahant do something good things, so they will do one of the 8 type of sense-sphere functional consciousness. I think today's lesson is very, very important. So trying to listen with the mindfulness. Because I think I will compare Abhidhamma and Sutta teachings. So normally, according to Abhidhamma, so functional consciousness arises only in the minds of Arahants, right? But today I will challenge that theory with the quoting some Sutta from Sutta Pitaka, right? Whether, how about in our minds? Is there any functional consciousness in our mind, right? So we will challenge that theory. So these functional chaitas are javana chaitas, javanas. So therefore, they are very powerful. Actually, we must understand this line, the last line is very important. Normally, people think that Arahants do not have desire, right? It's not so, Arahants do not have craving. That's correct. So if we use the word tanha or craving, that's correct. So Arahants also have a desire. Desire means chana, Pali in China, right? Chana. So what I want to say is, people normally think that since there is no craving, so since there is no craving in the minds of Arahant, he is not active. People normally say like this, right? We normally think that Arahants are not active. It's not so, right? It's not so. Look at the story of the Buddha, right? During 45 years, he do a lot, right? He have done a lot of good things. He traveled a lot and he spent all his time, right, for preaching. He make a lot of effort. So that means, so if we take it according to Abhidhamma method, so in the minds of the Buddha, only functional consciousness, right? There is no craving. So we think that if we do not have craving, what will happen, right? How the life will be, how to say, enjoyable, right? Like this. Actually, here, the functional chaitas are javana chaitas, so therefore, they're very powerful. As I said, javana literally means 2 meanings. Actually, Bhikkhu Bodhi used the word quick, switch, right? Very switch. Actually, one of the very famous monks from Myanmar, Lady Sayadaw, I think you may know his name. Actually, he don't like that that definition. Actually, here, javana means powerful force. So after we determine the object, we experience with the force, right? With the full of power. So therefore, it is javana is a powerful force. So to understand that, so we look at the indoor process. So here we have a 7 javana. 7 jhavana. In the third chapter, we will learn the different functions of consciousness. So when we learn third chapter, you will know it. I think before we learn third chapter, we also should know. So what is 8 type of functional consciousness with the root consists of, right? Here, as you know, the stream of Bhavanga. So Bhavanga, a lot of like continuing happening, occurring in our mind. Then now idle mind process is going to happen. Therefore, so the Bhavanga passed one time. Number 1, past Bhavanga, and the Bhavanga vibrate or shake, because another mind movement is going to happen. Bhavanga is going, right? Going. In the normal, I want to say going. Then idle mind process is going to come in. Therefore, there is crack, right? Therefore, the Bhavanga shake or Bhavanga vibrate, and then Bhavanga stop. So this is the last Bhavanga stop, arrest Bhavanga. Then after that, 5 door advancing consciousness, open the door. Open the door. So as you know, 5 door advancing consciousness is one of the consciousness from Ahituka Citta, right? 80 Ahituka Citta. That is functional consciousness. The reason is it just function opening the door. It doesn't make any to just opening the door, right? It's not very important one. So the moment 5 door switch, 5 door advancing consciousness, there's no lobha, no dosa, no moha, etc. Right? Another I'm consciousness. I'm consciousness. Actually, please look at the this mind process. So later we will learn according to this this mental mind process. So without understanding this one, it's very difficult to understand. So how the commentator define, right? So if you do not look at this one, you can also look at page number 155. The same. I think if you look at the page number 155, much better. So I will refer to this page again and again, because this is a mind process that we are going to learn all the time. So here, so 5 door advancing consciousness open the door, then the I see the form. The I see the form. So that is I consciousness arises. So in Mani Sutta, the Buddha said that because of eyes and forms, I consciousness arises, right? I consciousness arises. That is dependent origination. So here, I consciousness. So the moment we see the form, there is no lobha, dosa and moha yet, right? There is no alobha, adosa, amoha as well. Therefore, it is called rootless, ahituka. Then, receiving consciousness, receive the object. So we see with our eye, then receiving consciousness receive that object, right? Receive that object. Receiving consciousness. At this time also, we do not have any root. Lobha dosa moha, alobha adosa amoha. And investigate the object. Investigating consciousness. Then determine the nature of objects. Determining consciousness. So up to here, from 5 door advancing, I'm consciousness, receiving consciousness, investigating consciousness, determining consciousness. Up to here, so they are ahituka, rootless. So the moment we have those consciousness in our mind, no lobha, no dosa, no moha, right? And also no alobha, adosa, amoha as well. So therefore they are called ahetuka. Then now, after determining the object, we experience that object fully. If we like it, and craving or greed, lobha arises. If we do not like it, dosa, hatred arises. Then if there is no lobha, no dosa, but sometimes I want to say moha, delusion, right? Delusion. And also, after determining object, if we have wise attention, yoniso manasikara, then we will have wholesome consciousness. As a normal people, we will have 8 sincere wholesome consciousness that we have learned now, right? That we have learned. So these 8 types of sincere wholesome consciousness occurs not only in our mind, Puthojana, but also in the minds of Sotapanna, Sakadagami, and Anagami. Actually, Sotapanna, Sakadagami, and Anagami, so they are in the process of training. They need to train themselves, so therefore they are called trainees, right? 3 types of trainees, right? So actually, wholesome consciousness arises in the worldling. Now I will use worldlings or Puthojana, right? Puthojana and Sikha, or trainees. So if it is in the minds of Arahant, the Buddha and Pichika Buddha, we cannot call it wholesome consciousness. According to Abhidhamma, we call it functional consciousness. So that means their function is almost the same. Wholesome consciousness, functional consciousness, almost the same, right? Almost the same. But it depends. How to say? They are different depending on how to say whose mind, right? In whose mind they arises. So if it is Arahant, in the minds of Arahant, they became functional consciousness. So now we are going to learn 8 types of functional consciousness. They arise in the minds of Arahant. So actually these 8 types of functional consciousness are jhana. So therefore they are very powerful, they are very active. So we need to know this one, right? We need to know this one. Normally so I have a lot, some question. People ask me some question that, so if there is no, so Arahant, the Buddha, they do something. So they do just function, right? Just function. If we use this one, it's really, really dangerous. Actually, even in this book, I think that most of the Abhidhamma teachers, they will say, so actually the kiriya Citta just function, right? So if we use this one, that means it is not very active, right? It seems like an active mind. It is not so, because they are jhana consciousness. Man the jhana, so therefore they are very powerful. Look at how the Buddha do, right? The Buddha sleep only 2 hours. Very hard-working man, right? So he traveled a lot. Very active, right? So according to Abhidhamma, he do with the kiriya Citta. Wherever he do with the kiriya Citta, right? Kiriya Citta, functional consciousness. Then after that, if the object is very powerful, that we see is very powerful, there will be 2 registration consciousness. But it is very important to know that it is very important to know that. So the 2 registrations do not occur in the minds of Arahants. Only Javana. As a Arahant, only Javana. And also in the minds of Brahma, Rupa and Arupa Brahma, there's no two registrations. So actually, two registration normally only in the minds of Puthojana. Puthojana and also three trainees. Because normally when we like, follow up feelings arise in our mind, right? Also when we do not like, a lot of anger, right? Our anger does not stop, here in the Javana. So there are another two registration, very powerful, right? But in the minds of Arahant, actually we have to learn in the third chapter. But now in the minds of Arahant, no two registrations, right? Only Javana. Actually, this is a complete form of mind process. Okay. Then, so trying to look at page number 155, right? So actually, now we are learning about our mind. So this is a Abhidhamma model of mind process. So wherever we learn, whether we are learning Citta or Cittasika, so we have to look at mind process, right? Mind process. Since Arahants and the Buddha do not have ignorance and craving, their actions are not considered as a karma. But of course, the actions normally, so when we do good things, kusala karma, wholesome action, right? Wholesome action. So if we do bad thing, akusala karma, unwholesome actions. Normally in the minds of trainees and Puthojana, right? Trainees and worldlings. But in the minds of Arahants and the Buddha, so they do not have ignorance and craving. So therefore, their actions cannot be called as a karma. Actually, this is the best definition, I think, to differentiate between kusala and kiriya. Normally, we call kusala citta, wholesome consciousness, when Arahant, Puthojana, and the three trainees do something. We call it kusala. Kusala karma, right? Kusala karma, wholesome actions. But when Arahant and the Buddha, they also do actions. Their action is very powerful, right? Very powerful. Very powerful. But we do not call it as a karma. This is according to dependent originations, right? Dependent originations. So in the dependent originations, so the Buddha said, with the remainderless fading away and cessation of ignorance comes cessation of karma formations. Karma formations. So sometimes it is sankhara is translated as evolutionary formations. I think karma formation is much better. The reason is, so normally we do something with the ignorance and craving. Because of ignorance and craving, karma is form. So therefore, it is better to translate as a karma formation. We do unwholesome karma. We do unwholesome things with the ignorance and craving. Because of that, karma is form. So therefore, karma formation. But here, as a Arahant, as the Buddha and Vichika Buddha, in their mind there is no ignorance, avijja. Also, there is no craving, tanha. So because of that, because of lack of these two defilements, so cessation of karma formation. So there is no karma. We cannot call it karma. But it is state actions, right? So that action is called kiriya. Kiriya, right? Functional consciousness. Actually, just knowing the translation of kiriya is not enough, right? If you just understand it is functional consciousness, so just function, that means their action is not very powerful, right? So I think so we have to understand according to dependent originations. So as the Arahants, they do not have ignorance and craving, this defilement. Therefore, their actions cannot be called as a karma. Normally, karma formation, sankhara, will produce rebirth consciousness, right? So according to, this is I think the best definition of kiriya citta. According to Abhidhamma, except two consciousness. The first one, five-door adverting consciousness. Five-door adverting consciousness, pancha dwara citta, and mind-door adverting consciousness, mano dwara citta. Except these two, so the rest of the 80 functional consciousness arise only in Arahants, Pacheka Buddha, and the Buddha. So we have 20 type of functional consciousness. So among 20, only 2 consciousness arises in the minds of Puthojana, Sotapanna, Sakadagami, and Anagami, right? So the rest of the 80 type of consciousness arises in the minds of Arahants, according to Abhidhamma, right? According to Abhidhamma. The main reason is the absence of ignorance and craving in their mind. Actually, totally different. So, as a Puthojana, so when we do something, we have a lot of ignorance. Most of the time, we have ignorance. We do not know the real nature of mind and material phenomena. That is ignorance. We do not know good and bad clearly. That is ignorance, right? So we will do wholesome deed. Sometimes we do wholesome deed and unwholesome deed. Even we do wholesome deed, we have a wager, ignorance sometimes, right? Ignorance. So therefore, as a Puthojana, to be clearly, so we have a lot of ignorance and craving. Based on that, we do wholesome and unwholesome deed. Not only unwholesome deed, but also wholesome deeds as well. Even we are meditating, so we will have a wager and craving, ignorance and craving. So therefore, as I said last week, so as a Sotapanna, and he will remove wrong view, right? Wrong view. But he will stay attached to his body. And also he will stay see the beauty of other people. He doesn't see asubha or unattractiveness. But only he became sakadagami. He began to realize the real nature of the body. His body, the body of other. Then, of course, Anagami, no attachment at all, regarding with the form. But he stay attached to meditative bliss. Meditative bliss. So actually, when we look at from the viewpoint of Arahant, attachment to the meditation also not good. Not good. You know, when we look at from the Arahant point of view, right? So actually, step by step like this. So actually, because we have ignorance, so you might say that if we have attachment to meditation, meditative bliss is no harm, right? No harm to you, no harm other people. You might think that. But you harm yourself. You will go to Brahmaloka again. Stay there for many years, right? Many millions and billions of years. That's also a type of suffering. But as we have ignorance, as we do not see the real nature of those suffering, no? Actually, so therefore, different level of ignorance and craving. So when we look at from top-down view, from the view of Arahant, so everything is suffering. Actually, there are many suttas with the name of Loka Sutta. Loka Suttas. In Anguttara Nikaya, Samyutta Nikaya, so we have so many suttas. So in those suttas, the Buddha said that the world is suffering. Everything, the mind, the material phenomena, right? Actually, the Buddha talking top-down view, right? Top-down view. So, as we have ignorance and craving, we do not know, right? So we will do not only unwholesome deeds, unwholesome things. We also will do wholesome things. Within that, it is good, right? Within that, it is good. Actually, when we look at from top-down view, it's not good, right? Not good. I think this is very important to know. Except two consciousness, the rest of the 80 functional consciousness can rise only in the minds of Arahants, right? So this is according to Abhidhamma, right? Now let's talk about according to suttas, right? According to suttas. If the worldlings, Puthojana is a, we can also translate as a ordinary people, right? We are Puthojana. We are ordinary people. I don't know, is there any Sotapanna here? It's not like to say, right? We are ordinary. So there may be some people who are Sotapanna like this. So actually we normally translate the worldlings, Puthojana. That means ordinary people, right? And also the trainees, three types of trainees, Sotapanna, Sakadagami, Anagami. We call it Sikha. They are still training themselves. They need to train themselves, right? So therefore, Arahant is called Asika. How to say? Already trained. No need training. So he finished everything, right? He completed everything. It is called Asika. The worldling, Puthojana, the trainees, Sikha, do wholesome deeds. If the Puthojana, the trainees, do wholesome deeds without ignorance and craving, is it possible to call the state of their mind as a functional consciousness? Question. What do you think? According to Abhidhamma, of course, exactly no. According to Abhidhamma, right? So today I just want to pinpoint, what the Sutta says about this one. Also very important, this also connected with the meditation. For those who are meditating, I think it's good to know that. So while I'm teaching, you will know what is meditation, right? If the Puthojana, the trainee, do something good things without ignorance and craving, we can call their mind as a functional consciousness. Of course, we have two types of functional consciousness, right? Five door adverting and mind adverting. But how about other one? We can call the state of our mind when we are doing ignorance, without ignorance and craving. If not the same, we can call it as a pseudo-functional consciousness. Pseudo-functional consciousness, or copy functional consciousness, by referring to Sam Sutta from Sutta Pitaka. If not the same, we can call it pseudo-functional consciousness. Am I correct? Pronunciation? Pseudo, right? Pseudo-functional consciousness. One Sutta, Uposatha Sutta from Anguttara Nikaya. Actually, Uposatha means observant day, right? So normally we observe Sila, Samadhi and Panya in the Uposatha day. So in this Sutta, the Buddha is talking to Visakha. Actually, Visakha is a great patron of the Buddha at the time of the Buddha, and she came to the temple on the Uposatha day, and the Buddha advised to observe 8 precepts. 8 precepts. Normally, as a Buddhist, we normally observe 5 precepts, right? So in this Sutta, the Buddha talk about suggested to keep 8 precepts. This noble disciple, Visakha, reflect this. As long as they live, the Arahant abandon and abstain from distraction of life. As long as they live, right? Arahant do not kill. With the rod and weapon laid aside, conscientious and kindly. So they dwell compassionate toward all living beings. Actually, this is the first precept. Normally, we normally chant, we normally observe. So I refrain from killing, right? So what we observe is only negative part. So actually here, the positive one is with the rod and weapon lay aside. Or this one is negative one. Here, conscientious and kindly. This is a positive one, right? We have to do it. And dwell compassionate toward all living beings. Not only refraining from killing, but also we have to practice compassion and loving kindness toward all living beings, right? That's called Sila. Actually, that's not the way that I want to point out. This is the first precept. And the Buddha said, today, for this night and day, the Uposatha day, right? For this night and day, I too shall abandon and abstain from distraction of life with the rod and weapon laid aside. Conscientious and kindly, I too shall dwell compassionate to all living beings. And the Buddha said that I shall imitate the Arahants in this respect. And the Uposatha will be observed by me. Here, I shall imitate the Arahants in this respect. As long as they live, Arahants do not kill. But today, as the Uposatha day, I will imitate the Arahant, right? I will follow suit. I will not kill, right? And I will generate compassion and loving kindness in my mind. Only one day, right? We cannot do every day. But today, the full moon day, as the Uposatha days, I will imitate, I will copy the Arahant, right? So I think that we can do, right? We can do like Arahant. Why not? But if you cannot follow the whole day, at least you can follow 1 or 2 minutes. 1 or 2 minutes, right? Because actually, practicing loving kindness and compassion is not easy, right? Even Uposatha day, full moon, new moon day, you may see, right? Disturbing things, irritating things. Then you cannot practice compassion, loving kindness. Or of course, you can refrain from killing, right? You can refrain from killing at least one day. So that means we are imitating, right? we're trying to imitate the Arahant. So if we can imitate 1 minute, at least 1 minute, so that means I think that so we may have kiriya, right? If there is no ignorance and craving in our mind, we can call it functional consciousness. Functional consciousness. Actually, this is not very clear. Then I will give you another example. Actually, I copy from Bhikkhu Bodhi translation. It's not my own translation, right? I shall imitate the Arahants in this respect. Another one is Bahia Soda. It's very famous soda. So as you know, Bahia is a merchant. He was trading from India to Thailand, Myanmar, Indonesia. Because in the commentary it is said that Suvarnabhumi, the golden land. Actually, the Suvarnabhumi is very popular, also very controversial place. Burmese also, they claim that Suvarnabhumi is their country. Thai also, they claim that Suvarnabhumi is their country. So therefore, they give the name Suvarnabhumi Airport. They're very rich, richer than other people. Therefore, they can do it, right? So they think that Suvarnabhumi is Thailand, right? Thailand. Actually, some scholars propose that Suvarnabhumi is the whole region, including Singapore, Myanmar, Thailand, Malaysia, Singapore, Indonesia, right? Actually, just for knowledge. Even today, so we don't have a historical evidences. So therefore, it is still controversial term, right? So actually, in the commentary, it said that Bahia, he is from South India, and he trading the Suvarnabhumi. So 7 times he have a lot of profit. So the last time he went to trading, he went trading, but halfway the storm, kill all the people. He was lucky that he got one wooden piece. Then using this one, he managed to escape from the death. Then he so later he was sent to the shore, right? Sent to the shores. And all the clothes are gone, naked. So actually he's very hungry. He went to eat. So therefore he doesn't have any clothes. So therefore he used some tiny wooden flat to cover his lower body. Then he go for begging food. And people offer, thinking that he is a saint, a sage. And also people start to talk to him that, wow, look at, here is Arahant. As you know, Indian people, so normally very strange, even today, right? So the Bahia, as you know, he wear the, pieces of the clothes. Actually, according to commentary, he used pieces of the wood pieces to cover his upper body, lower body, right? Suppose actually people said that here, offer, he is Arahant, right? So he is Arahant. Also, Bahia hear this one, that he start to pretend that he is a sage. That he have a lot of offerings. Some people offer the best clothes, but he deny. I don't wear. The reason is if he wear, and he will not have any offerings. right? Therefore, he pretend as a sage. So later on, he himself trying to follow, to detach, the offerings. At the first time, he pretend that he is a sage, but later he trying to follow, he trying to practice as a sage. So later on, he began to think himself that he is one of the Arahants. He is really practitioner, real practitioner. Later he became real practitioner. And later he himself think that he is one of the Arahants. So one of his friends, who is in Brahmaloka, a Brahmin, Brahma, and he know his mind, and he frightened that, Bahia, you are not Arahant. Actually, Bahia became very afraid. So there are some deity who know my mind, right? So that actually, at the time of previous Buddha, Cakkapala Buddha, they practice together. They practice meditation together. And that man, he became a Nagami. So when he died, he was born as a Brahma. So Bahia became afraid. As you know, he is a real practitioner right now. Then he heard that he is not Arahant. And that Brahma suggested that there are so many Arahants in Savatthi. So go there. So at once, without informing anyone, Bahia went to Savatthi. So he stopped only one night. So he traveled non-stop. So by the time he arrived Savatthi, very tired, right? Very tired. And he go to Citta monasteries and asked the monks, where is the Buddha? And they said the Buddha is on his way to Penapada, collecting for alms. So Bahia followed the Buddha, and he saw the Buddha is on his way to Penapada. Then he said that, Bhante, I am Bahia. I come from South India. So I went to hear the Dhamma. I went to practice. Just preach me a short sermon. Then the Buddha said that, Bahia is not the right time. I am on my way to Penapada. Then Bahia said second time, Bhante, I do not know when I will die. You do not know when you will die. Anytime we can die. So I went to hear a very short sermon, preach me. I come from very far place. As you know, he is very exhausted, very tiring. And the Buddha rejects second time. It's not the right time. I'm on the way. The third time, Bahia requested. Very, very energetic, and also, his mind is very determined. As the last time he said that, I do not know, the time we will die, or the time you will die. So just preach me. Actually, the Buddha is rejecting. The reason is he went and calmed down. Because he's very tired, right? Very tired and exhausted. So by rejecting 3 times, he have some time to rest. So then only the Buddha preached this one. Here in Bahia, you should train yourself thus. In the sea, there will be merely the sea. Date, Datamadam, Bhavetati. So this is a very famous suttas. So when you go to meditation retreats for a long time, you will hear these suttas. Because this is one of the meditation method. Bahia, you should train in this way. So in the sea, there will be merely the sea. Do you understand this line? Understand? Mr. Chen, how you understand? Let me hear. No, it's not a problem. Just say, just in fact seeing. Only the first line. In the sea, there will be merely the scene.
Okay, maybe in the sea itself is very white, right? As an ocean. Therefore, to see things clearly, you need to be very mindful. Right? So, as a lay person, probably you may not be able to do it.
Who would you like to contribute idea? To see what you see. And furthermore, a little bit.
You cannot put in what you think, what you see.
Good. So, see what we see. Do not put your concept and idea. Do not add a lot of colors. Right? It's very good interpretation. Actually, here, the discourse is very short and also very difficult to understand. So I think if you know this way, you know what is meditation. So in the scene, there will be merely the sea. Dete detamatam boedati. You see someone. Just mindfully, especially with the mindfulness. So just see. That's all. Do not add your craving, ignorance. So if you are mindful, there's no ignorance, there's no craving. Normally we have a lot of color, we have a lot of concept. We see someone, wow, he's very ugly. Our concept, right? Our view, our opinion at that. Normally, when we see someone, whether ugly or beautiful, just in the scene, merely the scene. We just see it, right? That's all. No women, but of course, as a Puthojana, not easy, but we have to practice. But if you are mindful, if you are developing mindfulness continuously, you can practice this one. As you know, don't forget that Bahia is real practitioner. Of course, as the first time, he pretend that he is a sage, right? Later on, he start to follow asceticism, start to reject, right, material comfort. So here, in the sea, there will be merely the sea. In the heart, there will be merely the heart. So when you hear something, somebody is complaining or criticizing you, what will happen? We cannot practice this way, right? So we think that he is criticizing me, angry arises. Normally, for those who are mature, who are mindful, they do not have any anger when they see, when they hear even criticism or reviling, right? So one of the things, the best example is between the Buddha and Venerable Ananda. So as you know, the Buddha was in Kosambi together with now the many monks. So at the time, the queen have resentment to the Buddha. So before his parents proposed, met the Buddha and told him to get married their daughter. And the Buddha said that, no, I don't want this, foul body like this, an attractive body like this. Actually, the Buddha went to preach the sermon. The Buddha went to enlighten two parents, right? They became anagami. So one of them became anagami. So he take resentment that when the Buddha visit next time, actually he became the queen or the king, the queen. She is very beautiful. Then after she became the queen, he have a resentment to the Buddha and he hired many people and told them to revive and to insult, to follow the Buddha and his disciple, and to revive them and to disparage them using very negative words. Then following the Buddha, just like demonstrating, right? Demonstrating. Then the Buddha is very calm. In the heart, there will be merely the heart. The Buddha practiced this one because very, very mindful, right? As a Arahant, no ignorance, no craving. But Venerable Ananda talked to the Buddha, Bhante, people are always following. Yesterday also following, today also following. Revile as, criticizing as, insulting as. Let's move to another town. Let's move to another town. And the Buddha said, Ananda, the people in that town also still reviling you, insulting you. What will you do? We'll move to another town. Horrible. The people in that town are doing the same thing. We'll move to another town. And the Buddha said, we're not finished. So we have to fix the problem halfway. Then after seven days, so that problem disappears. They give back. So what I want to say is, Venerable Ananda is just Sotapanna, right? He still have ignorance and craving. And he still have anger. He's not mindful enough. So therefore, he cannot practice this one. In the heart, there will be merely the heart. So as the Arahant and the Buddha, so wherever they see, so they take it as the song, that's all. The song, that's all. They know that they are reviling or criticizing or insulting. They know that. But full of mindfulness. Full of mindfulness. So I think one of the 8 victories of the Buddha, Chanchamana, right? Chanchamana, he accused the Buddha, she is pregnant because of the Buddha, with the Buddha. Then the Buddha do not say anything. So later, the true story is unveiled, right? Unveiled. So like this, so actually the Buddha, defeated, or the Buddha have a victory over Chanchamana with the calmly. Actually, there is stanza when you chant in the puja, and you will see the calmly the Buddha, right? So what I want to say is, the Buddha practice in the heart. There will be merely the heart. That means we can also practice. So when we are mindful, even though people are complaining you and criticizing you, just practice this one. In the heart, there will be merely the heart. Not easy, but when you are keep on practicing again and again, it will work. It will work. So you might have seen some people are very calm in the meeting. Even though people are criticizing them, no move, right? Because they practice this way. In the heart, there will be merely the heart. In the sins, there will be merely the sins. That means, so when you have smell, you just know it is you just sins, right? When you are eating, when you are touching something, right? With your body, this one. In the sins, there will be merely the sins. So in the cognized, there will be merely the cognized. So when you think something, so just think that it is cognized, right? You're thinking, no follow your concept. Actually, your concept make a lot of problem, moral problem. So this is a very famous discourse taught by the Buddha. So in this way, you should train yourself Bahiya. Then the Buddha continued, when Bahiya, in the sea, there will be merely the sea. In the heart, there will be merely the heart. In the sin, there will be merely the sin. In the cognized, there will be merely the cognized. Then Bahiya, you will not be binded. You will not be binded. You understand? So very difficult to understand. So we have to rely on the commentary. You will not be binded. You will not be aroused. You will not be irritated. You will not be deluded by these objects. Somebody is shouting, complaining about you. Just practice merely the heart, right? So if you practice this way, so you will not be irritated by these complaints, by these criticisms, right? A very famous, a very important one. So here, arouse me with the lust. Normally, with the greed, our mind is aroused. Then, with the anger and hatred, our mind is irritated. With the ignorance or delusion, our mind is deluded by these objects. Something you hear, something you see, eat, smell, touch, think, right? So therefore, the main point here is practice mindfulness. So if you are mindful, you can practice this way. Continue mindfulness. Therefore, so I write that. So to talk about meditation, in simple way, that is developing mindfulness continuously. That's meditation. So if you can develop mindfulness 2 minutes, that means 2-minute meditation. If you are mindful 10 minutes, 10 minutes the best meditation, right? The best meditation. Next one. When Bahiya, you are not binded, you are not aroused, you are not irritated, you are not deluded, then you will not be therein. Difficult to understand here again. So therein, not tattva. So actually we have to look at the commentary explanation. You will not be bound, attached, established in what is the heart, sense and cognized. So when you are not aroused with the greed or lust, when you are not irritated by these things that you see, things that you hear, right? With the anger, if you are not irritated by with the anger, if your mind is not deluded with the delusion, you will not have attachment to this one. No attachment, no anger, no delusion, no ignorance, right? Actually, the sutta is very concise and very difficult to understand.
So,
okay.
A lot of explanation, a lot of commentaries.
Sorry?
A lot of explanation here, we get from commentaries.
Yeah.
Right? As a day, people like us, where do you get commentaries to understand?
Of course, it's very difficult. Actually, even commentary make mistakes. Today I will share a little bit because, of course, commentary, we have to rely on commentaries to know those, extra meaning, very difficult meaning. But sometimes even commentary make mistakes. So actually, when we look, the best thing is to study all the suttas completely. Then only you will understand. You will understand. The correct. You will have a better understanding. A correct understanding about that. So therefore, as a lay devotee, I think not easy. Not easy. Of course, not honestly. Of course, there are some people who are studying, like Mr. Piyatan, right? Even though he's lay people, he study seriously. Actually, his understanding is better than monks.
Yes, you are right.
Because he is a serious learner, right? Serious learner. But normally as a lay devotee, so you difficult to study those ones. So therefore, you have to invite the monks to stay in Mangala Vihara. So that is the reason. That is the reason I am here, right? So actually, we have a different profession, right? So I think it's not easy to read the commentaries. So we don't have a complete translations. Even some translations, not a lot of mistakes. So therefore, as a monk, of course, we have to devote all our time for learning. So therefore, of course, as a commentary, as a lay devotee, not easy to learn.
So Bhante, you all will attend the classes that you learn, right?
Yeah, good. Yeah, have to do like this. Then, if we are not irritated and aroused and deluded, so no anger, no greed, no ignorance. Regarding with this one, regarding we see, we heard, we see, we sense and cognize. Actually, this is another way of explanation. Is talking about 6 internal pieces. Very easy one. Things that you see, hear, taste, smell, touch, and think. That's all. So therefore, in one of the sutta, the Buddha said that I will talk to you all. The Buddha said, actually in Pali is Sava. Sava means everything. I will talk to you all. Actually, it's nothing but 6 internal pieces and 6 external pieces. So apart from that, there is nothing. In that sutta, the Buddha said, someone will come and taught that, apart from this one, I will talk another thing. He is talking nonsense. The Buddha said. So what I want to say is, this is another way of explanation regarding with 6 internal and external bases, right? When Bahia, you are not therein, then you will not be neither here, nor there, nor in between the two. Really difficult to understand. Actually here, I think the commentary make mistakes, I think. So therefore, according to commentary, here me in this life, there me next life. Here, upaya mandarena, in between the two me, both this life and next life, like this, right? So actually, it seems like meaningless. Suppose if something you see and hear, etc., are not affected your mind, you will not have craving and ignorance, right? So if you do not have craving and ignorance, then so there will be here or there in between the two. This is the end of suffering. This is the end of suffering. Difficult. Anyway, so based on another suttas, we have to learn. So it will be clearer. So here, if you don't have craving and ignorance, and lobha dosa moha, then you will not be neither here nor there, nor in between the two. This is the end of suffering. The teaching from Bahia Sutta will be much more clearer if we learn together with the Meche Sutta. Meche means between, in the middle. Meche means in the middle. So here, having understood both ends, the wise one does not stick in the middle. I call him a great man, he has here transcended the seamstress. Seamstress. So actually here, both end mean here and there. Here and there, right? In the middle mean Ubaya Mandarina. In between these two, right? In between these two. So here, so actually Mijje Soda was very interesting. Based on that verse, that stanza, so a group of monks are discussing about the Dhamma. So the Buddha said this one in Parayana. Actually, 6 elder monks give their own answers. There's no Buddha amid them, say, right? They are discussing this one, this verse among themselves. So the first elder monk presented his answer. Contact, friends, is one end. Contact. As you know, I have eye and something to see, right? Really, there is a contact. Contact is one end. The arising of contact is second end. So I have eye, then something to see, the form. So therefore, eye consciousness arises, right? Contact. Meeting of these three is called contacts. So arising of contact. The cessation of contact is in the middle. The cessation of contact. Actually, I see someone, the contact arises, right? So arising of contact and another contact is to end. It will cease. So actually is the nature of mind and material phenomena, right? It will cease. And craving is the seamstress. For craving soul went to the production of this and that states of existence. Actually, that is as she said, that we are coloring. We add a lot of colors, right? With the craving, you like it or you don't like it, right? So you see someone, there is a rising of contact and also another contact. So there will be that contact will be stopped, right? Cease. There will be a cessation of contact. So if the contact is stopped, sometimes we are happy, sometimes we are unhappy because of craving. If you like it, unhappy, right? Unhappy. If you don't like it, happy. That is because of craving, right? Craving. This one is not very clear. It's the first answer. So if we look at the second and third, it will be much more clear. It is in that way that the bhikkhu rightly know what should be rightly know, fully understand what should be fully understood. By so doing, in this very life, he makes an end to suffering. Actually, the Sutta I want to say is, if you look at dependent originations, it will be clearer. You know, as we have internal sense space, I, and an external form, you know, the contact arises, right? Contact arises. Suppose I like that object, that person, but that unconsciousness and that contact will disappear, right? If I cannot see that person, then I have been here, right? I have been here. So therefore, the craving is just like a seamstress. It makes the becoming of this and that, right? This and that. Suppose I don't like that person. Then I have I, then I see that person. The I consciousness arises. Arising of contact, right? Arising of contact. But if I see, if there is a contact I don't like in my mind, then of course that arising of contact, that contact also will disappear. Feel very happy, because of craving. My mind is not stable. My mind is not stable. Then that person will come again. Then I will see, I will have a contact again. I'm happy again. Not very stable, right? Actually, my happiness is depend on that person. That person, because of craving. Actually, our happiness shouldn't depend on other people. Otherwise, our happiness is not stable. Actually, the Sutta is just going to say, arising of contact and cessation of contact. So between them, we have to be mindful. Just be mindful that in the sea, there will be merely the sea. In the heart, there will be merely the heart. We shouldn't rely on other songs. If your happiness is heavily relying on the songs, the sound of your children, one day it will change, right? It can change. If you heavily rely on your happiness, if your happiness is heavily relying on one person, it will change. Your happiness will be gone. So therefore, we have to be mindful whether we like it or not. Whether the object is pleasant or unpleasant, it doesn't matter. We have to be mindful. So just mindful that in the sea, there will be merely the sea. In the heart, there will be merely the heart, right? So this is the meaning of the Sutta. But this one is much more clearer. Both it means the internal sense base and external sense base. The middle me, consciousness. I have I and the form, right? There's two ends. Because of these two, I consciousness will arise. So, seamstress is craving trying to tie, trying to make different. So we do not practice in the seas, there will be merely the sea. We cannot practice. The craving make a problem. So if there is craving in our mind, that means we are not mindful. We are not mindful. If we are not mindful, if we cannot practice in the sea, there will be merely the sea. Then craving will make a lot of problem. So as I have explained, if I like that person, my mind attached to that person. If that person is impermanent, may die or may change her or his mind, right? His mind. Then our happiness is gone. If we do not like that person, because of craving, we do not like, I don't like him, right? Then whenever I see that person, a happiness here. So therefore, in between, we have internal sense basis and external sense basis. So there will be eye consciousness, ear consciousness, nose consciousness, and smell, tongue consciousness and body consciousness, and also Dhamma consciousness. So we have to be mindful all the time. So when we hear something, mindful. When you see something, mindful. So there's no place for craving. There's no place for ignorance. If you have mindfulness, that means no ignorance, no craving in your mind, right? So the craving make a problem. Another one is the past and the future. So we have a lot of past story, right? And we have future. there's two ends. The middle, the present. We are now in the present moment, right? We have the past story and we are expecting for the future. We forgot to live here. Actually, the problem is, seamstress is craving. You met one person yesterday. Actually, the past is already gone, right? But you carry that story, that incident in your mind. Craving, trying to tie, right? Tie your experience, your incidents yesterday. So therefore, the past is one end, and the future is one end, and the present is one end. So therefore, the craving is seamstress. So what the Buddha wants to say is, in the past, we shouldn't tie the past with the craving. We like it or we don't like it. In the future, and he will do something like this, right? Then we have some craving. We are thinking it's craving, but we forget about present moment. But of course, if we have ignorance and craving in the present moment as well, so we have a seamstress. So if we talk about regarding with the functional consciousness, so if we are mindful in the present moment, if you are mindful when you are thinking about the best moment, so that means no ignorance, no craving at all. By that moment, we can call your state of mind as a functional consciousness. Functional consciousness means no ignorance, no craving, right? No craving. Then we'll go to another one because it's very connected with this one, Vipassana. Another soda. This is from Majjhima Nikaya. So soda number, the name of the soda is Patikarata soda. So Patikarata means an auspicious day. So if you want to have an auspicious day, you have to follow this one. Vipassana. Let not a person revive the past or in the future with his hopes. For the past have been left behind and the future has not been reached. So if you look at this soda, this vase, it seems like it is a, pessimistic, right? Pessimistic. But we are talking about Vipassana. Vipassana means living in the present moment. It's not talking about you shouldn't think about the past. It's not talking like this. Here, talking about Vipassana, right? Suppose you are in the meditation center, you are meditating. Do not think about the past. Do not think about the future. Just stay in the present moment. If you are practicing breathing meditation, just focus on breathing. Your breathing. Nothing else, right? If you just go back to the past, you are not meditating. If you are going to the future, also not meditating. Actually, this one is talking about meditation. Not in your daily life, right? In your daily life. This is another translation. You shouldn't chase after the past. Very beautiful one. And place expectation on the future. So when you are meditating, don't think about the past and also the future. Just focus on the present moment, right? This Pichopana yo Dhamma Tattha Vipassati. So instead of going back to the past and going to the future, so with the insight, let him see. Here, with the insight, let him see me, Vipassati. It's talking about Vipassana. Each presently arisen state. Each presently arisen state. So you have to focus present moment, your breath, right? If something happen in your mind, just focus on that one. If something happen in your body, just observe that one. Presently arising state. That wherever quality is present, you clearly see right there, right there. That's vipassana. So what is happening in your mind, you try to observe it. That's vipassana. Whatever happens in your body, you observe it. That's vipassana. If you're mindful, no ignorance, no craving, that's vipassana. Also, you can observe outside world also. If you do not have ignorance and craving, that means vipassana, right? Okay, the last page. Going back to the future, going back to the past. Regarding with the going back to the past, I think as a Buddhist, you should know this one, right? You should know this one. When we use two methods, so we can use two methods to handle the past. So Bhattikarata Sutta favors second one. So the first one thinks, I had such material form in the past, yet does not find delight in the thought. So that means you can think about your past. So I have such type of beauty when I was very young. You can think about your beauty, but do not follow delight, right? Mindful when you're thinking. Mindful. So when I was 20 years ago, my beauty is not like this, very beautiful and handsome like this, right? So when you can think about the past, but mindfully. So if you are not mindful, delight or craving will follow. That's one way, right? One way. But Bhattikarata Sutta favor the last one. One does not go back to the past. So in this way, so we can prevent from such a thought. So that means stay in the present moment mindfully. Talking about Bhattikarata Sutta, talking about meditation. So if we are mindful, if we are living in the present moment mindfully, that is an auspiciity. It's higher level of auspiciity. Actually, we have another sutta, is also Bhikkhu body translated as an auspiciity. So this is a lower level. Today, if you are doing good things, bodily, verbally, and mentally, this is an auspiciity. This is a Buddhist attitude of an auspiciity. It is not the day you got a job. It is not the day you got a child. Actually, an auspiciity means the day you do good things, bodily, verbally, and mentally. So that is an auspiciity. Actually, this is called Popana Sutta from Anguttara Nikaya. But this one, Bhattikarata Sutta, is much more higher. If you are living mindfully, if you are staying in the present moment mindfully, so that is an auspiciity. So in the meditation retreat, if you are practicing meditation full of mindfulness, full of wisdom, so that means it is an auspiciity, right? Auspiciity. Okay, question? Question answer? We have another 5 minutes.
You say this one you don't think of past or present. So when there is a way of meditation, somebody called so are they attached to something? Is this considered because they are attached to something?
So therefore, if you are meditating Amitabha, right? It depends your attitude, how you think about. Suppose you are chanting this one, expecting something. Of course, we can call it meditation, but it's not higher level. Here, meditation means the aim is only two things. The aim is, maybe I will say three things. The first one is to remove ignorance. We must know what we are doing, right? We're mindful, we must mindful what we're doing. And second one, to remove ignorance. Sorry, crave, I want to say greed. Greed, right? Then third one, to remove anger, hatred. Sometimes we like it, sometimes we don't like it, right? These are two extremes. So we have to remove this one. So if we are mindful, no ignorance. So of course, if you are chanting Abhidhamma or anything, mindfulness, actually everything we cannot call as a right mindfulness. We also have a wrong mindfulness, right? Wrong mindfulness. So what I want to say is, it depends on how we think. Also, we can also actually regarding with the Buddha, according to Theravada, we have 9 virtues, right? Especially 9 virtues is very popular. The first one, Arahant. So Arahant means, so the moment you recollect or you contemplate the quality of Arahant, you must understand the meaning as well. So Arahant has so many meanings. So actually, one of them is Arahant means there is no defilements in the minds of the Buddha. No defilements. So therefore, it is Arahant. So you must understand the meaning. And very interesting one, very meaningful one is, so Arahant means even in secret, the Buddha do not do any wrong things. Very beautiful one. So the moment you chant Arahant, you must understand these qualities. So that is the way we do in Theravada. So Arahant, the moment you are chanting Arahant, of course this is a higher level. Many people chant the quality of the Buddha, Dhamma and Sangha, expecting something. Of course, this we shouldn't only denounce this one. So as long as you are contemplating good things, we can call it as good things. Of course, the higher level. So the reason why we are contemplating the quality of the Buddha is to remove negative mental states, including greed, right? Including greed. Especially if we are contemplating the quality of the Buddha, the mind is very pleasant and placid, and tranquility will arise. So that way, how to say, that will make us a quicker progress in meditation. Right? Okay, I think that's all. Time is up. Thank you for coming. Actually, today I cannot relate. That's okay. Today I couldn't finish relating functional consciousness in this one. Maybe next week cannot finish. Yo varatam bhavaro manu jesu sakya muni bhagavakata gecho paragato bala vidya ya samangi dan sukatan saranatamu bemi raga viraga maninchama sokan Dhamma sankatama patikulam madura bimam bagunan suvipatan Dhamma mimam saranatamu beni yatha chadena mahapalamahu chatu susu sisu purisayugesu attacha bogala dhammadasati Sangami mansaranatamu bemi Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Okay. Asha.